I purchased this card when I was overseas and I haven't done anything with it, but I'd like to remember that time that I was away in Arkansas in the USA in a place called Eureka Springs. So I have a picture frame here that I picked up from a secondhand store, and I'm going to redecorate the frame so that I can put that picture in there and keep it on my sideboard to remember a good time. So with upcycling a picture frame, you can keep it for yourself, of course, or if you've got a family member who's been away somewhere and they've got a special memento, you could create the frame to fit the image or picture. Or perhaps you live in one part of the world and they live in another. You could use a picture that you have got from your town, upcycle the frame and send it to them. The endless possibilities, or you could just put a photo in it. It's totally up to you. We want to take apart our picture frame. Then we want to grab a rag and put a little bit of water on there. Give it a clean. Now, of course, when I paint, often I go for a rustic look, so we're not too bothered if there are chips, marks, all that kind of stuff on there. Then we allow that to dry. We grab some sandpaper. This one's P240. And we just give it a little bit of a light sand. You might want to take this outside to do, because I just get a little bit of dust everywhere. I don't really want that on our frame when we paint. So once we've done that, just give it another quick wipe down to make sure that all the dust is off. I normally paint with a layer of, put a coat of what this one's called neutral grey. It's a base coat, and that's especially like if you're using a dark wood. If you were just to paint that with any colour really, you would be having to put lots and lots of coats so that the brown didn't show through. So I'm just going to quickly paint that. Make sure your paint's not too runny. Like mine is a little bit. You'll be forever cleaning up drips, but anyway. So once you've done that, just set it aside to dry. Just making sure that if you have to put something underneath, so that the ends are not going to touch whatever surface you're painting on and get stuck. really want any of that browny colour showing through. Make sure to read the instructions on your tin paint, your container of paint, to see how long you should leave it to dry between coats. Of course, one little trick to speed up the drying process if you're in a hurry is to blast it with the hairdryer. Just make sure that if it's a shared hairdryer, that tell the other person what you're doing, because it may end up with paint all over it, and then you might just have to relegate it to your crafting hairdryer, because it does have lots of applications. So as you can see, it's a bit patchy. Now, if you want to, you can paint the back, but you'll probably have to put the base coat on first because that's unfinished there. I'm not going to bother. Now this is a resin paint in a test pot, so water-based. So I'm just going to go all over, give it a quick paint with my colour, just looking lovely. Now I happen to choose this one because there is a little bit of lime green in my picture, so I'm hoping they'll complement each other well. So just cover your frame in your colour of choice, and once you're finished, just allow it to dry. Make sure to check for any drips, and if you happen to have some drips and it's dried, we can just give it a little light sand, and hopefully that will get rid of them. Just with the test pots, of course, it doesn't actually say how long you need to dry, but I would give it at least 24 hours between coats, unless you use the hairdryer to speed up the process. Finished the painting, and now we want to give it a little bit of a sand in places to make it just look a bit rustic, because I like that effect. So I don't know whether you can see, there's a little bit of roughness right in there. So if I give that a little bit of a sand, you won't really notice it. So basically, you just give it a sand wherever you want, and that's the formula. You don't have to do this at all, but you will need to make a very concerted effort not to get any drips or lumps when you put your layers of paint on. When I first started painting things, I tried to make everything perfect, but it never worked out, and I got really frustrated. And then I discovered this paint effect, or one of many paint effects, and the rest, they say, is history. So just give it a go and see if you like it or not. Right, and so once you've done that, you need to get to your damp cloth and just give it a brush down. Oops, put the paint on it there. And mop up your dustings, or do it outside so it won't matter. So I picked up a little bit of paint there. I could just give that a little sand. That's the back. I haven't painted it. And then we need to look at our picture frame inserts. So the back here is just looking a little bit rough, so I would probably just give that a bit of a sand as well. Now it's it was bored. And then we are going to, I'll clean the glass, and then we're going to cut up our picture to fit inside the frame. Now I'm going to use a craft knife for that job. If you've got a paper trimmer of some sort, then that would be quite a handy tool to have. Right. Now it's going to fit that way, but not the other way. So how much do I need to trim off? Just try a little bit. Not too much all at once, because once you cut it off, you can't put it back. Right. Oops. How's that looking? It's looking pretty good, so I'll give the glass a clean and reassemble. Our picture in, put the backing on. And there we have it. One picture frame complete. Ready to give as a gift with a piece of artwork or keep for yourself. Well done.